Welcome back to Be So For Real podcast. It's your hostesses with the mostesses, Ange.
Area in the cup, what's up?
And Dana.
Long
Sorry, I have
pause,
myself
girl.
muted.
This is why.
I have myself
Because
muted.
why?
It's okay. It's okay.
Well,
What
today
you got for us today, Ange? What's up?
today we're talking about how honest is too honest.
Tell me the truth.
When should you speak up? When shouldn't you speak up? How should you speak up? All the things, honey. And I got a lot to say about this.
Let's talk about it.
But first I have a question for y'all because I saw it. Where did I see this? I saw this on Instagram or something this morning, and they were like, "Would you tell your friend that their ex-boyfriend was cheating on them when they were dating?" So that's her ex-boyfriend, but he was cheating, and you got the evidence, everything. You know, you like, oh shoot, you just found out.
If I'm being honest, there's a lot of stipulations that go into this. One, the friend. Are we associates? Is this a friendship? How does a friend take accountability? These things play a very big part because we also have problematic friends who take stuff, spend something. Now she at the door. Now she fighting them. Now she beating them up, but she's doing all this other stuff. And we done already went through the healing process and all this other stuff. The other side of me of just like wanting you to know in case you were thinking of doubling back, but don't really need to add on to it. I would not be the one that shared the information. I would just message you off of a Finsta, and give you the information like, hey, woman to woman, I just wanted to let you know, like, we was cheating and everything like that. And then when you tell me, I'm like, what? Are you that dog?
That dog.
Dirty dog. Because what you're not going to do is argue to him. And he like, how you even find that out? He like, my best friend told me or my friend told me. Because you said friend, not best friend. You said friend. Now we got these issues. I'm in other people's business. Ain't got nothing to do with me. And nowadays, sorry, sad to say, these friendships like draws. They might be there. They might not. But one thing, if they got a stain, they might stick. They might stuck. And you can have underwear for a long time, but they'll have holes in it.
What? I got the analogy, but it was just like I got you until you got to the stick and the stain and the whole.
I'm just saying.
See,
we're so
much. Donna, what you think?
I have learned to stay out of people's beds.
Amen.
Present beds, past beds, future beds. I'm just mind my business. So I don't think it's a reflection of my friendship for you or my love for somebody if I decide to mind my business concerning your personal relationship.
Yeah, that's good though. That's good. I think you got to stay out of people's business.
Yeah,
that's something that we often do. Mm-hmm. And then once you get in their business, you end up opening up a door for them to get in your business.
Ooh.
You know, and we don't be wanting other people in our business, yet we be the first ones to give opinions, suggestions, thoughts, and thought pieces, thought-provoking thoughts, and thought-provoking questions in other people's business. And it don't even make no sense to be in that business in the first place. Because what does this have to do for you? I think it just comes down to the benefit of it. Like, people do stuff out of their own intent of just like, again, going into that specific situation, why are you trying to tell me what my ex did while we was in a relationship but we already broken up? And then again, like Dana said, why is any of this at any point your business? Don't make no sense to me. Stay up out of that business.
I think I'm kind of like half and half because I'm like, part of me is like where you was like, if they decide to double back, but at the same time, I'm like, that's your business. Y'all broke up for a reason. I don't know the reason y'all broke up, or maybe I know, but it ain't my business. So I think I'm half where it's like, I feel like to be a good friend, that would be it. But at the same time, it could end up messing up your own friendship because you're in that business. And like you said, they get back together and now y'all friendship messed up because you just couldn't mind your business. So I guess I answer my own question. Yep, mind your business, stay out of it. Because that situation, what was I, 8th or 9th grade? I think I was in 9th grade. My best friend at the time, she was dating somebody, and the person, she found out he was lying. He was a she. He was a she, which is crazy to me. But she was catfishing her. And so when she found out, she was like, of course, like, oh, lie. But I'm like, yeah, leave this alone, keep it pushing. And so maybe like a week later, whatever, she ended up getting back with the girl. Mind you, I had made a big stink about it. I didn't make a big stink, but I was like, yeah, girl, that ain't no,
That's a big stink.
Okay, well,
you got the neck growing. You was adamant. That's my friend. She playing you. Oh, that's weird.
I didn't talk to the girl, but I was talking to the friend who was getting catfish. I was like, yeah, there's something wrong with this girl, and then there was a whole bunch of other stuff going on, but I said, there's something wrong with this. Like, never are you. And then they tried to use the whole, I'll kill myself if I can't be with you or something, just stupid stuff. And I said, yeah. And then a week later, she got with the girl. I said, okay.
But imagine. Go ahead. How did that make you feel?
It irritated. Like, it really made me look at her different. I said, yeah, this is stupid. But then I kept going along with the foolishness.
But this goes into play on what Dana was saying about when you mind your own business. One, not only did that show you a lot about your friend and her mind state, but her relationship of wanting to be with the catfish, wanting to be with the dog, wanting to be with the man who cheated on her, the man who threw her down the stairs, whatever, had nothing to do with you. Mm-hmm. You can care, but sometimes we over involve ourselves where we end up being the ones that get hurt in the situation because we love them so much. Mm-hmm. This goes down to our previous lives of just like, we take on how you treated my mom as in the father that you are to me. You did her so bad. You cheated on her, da-da-da-da. But your daddy been there for you. He just ain't treat your mama right. That ain't got nothing to do with you. But if you mind the business that pays you and the business that is your business, a lot of stuff you can prevent yourself from getting into and be able to maneuver yourself in a whole nother direction. That's like, okay, this friend doesn't make good choices about the people she brings into her life. This relationship is now taking a toll, not only her mentally, but it's affecting our relationship because every time I'm with her, we're talking about the same thing over and over and over and over. And some people are okay with that. Talk to me. Give me the, what's going on, girl? Same thing. Wow, that's crazy. But I've learned from me of being able to listen to you and go, dang, but I used to, and y'all know it, over involve myself in other people's life. Like, she gonna let them convince her to move to Jamaica and not even make no more sense. And it's like, but what does that have to do with you? Does that have to do with you moving? Like, well, no, she just gonna be, is that gonna change how y'all talk? You're already long distance. What changes? You like, nothing, but it's like, I love her so much. I love him so much. They don't see the effect that it's taking on them that's affecting this. And it's like, but that's not your place. You are not their therapist. You are not God. Your place and your role in these relationships is to mind your business, stay in your lane. And it comes down to the question of like, when is there a time to be honest and a time to be sensitive on when information is needed to be given? Because being honest on like, do this outfit look right? And you see that this baby didn't had an accident in her pants, you know what I'm saying? Or she that she's not the most thought cautious when she's on her, on her monthly, and she's wearing a whole white outfit. We about to be sitting down for a long time. We can't leave and go check mirrors and change. I don't think this is the right outfit for you, baby. You know what I'm saying? And a difference of just like should I go on a date with him? Like, it's a difference. It's a lane for it, but it all comes down to business and us not projecting and trying to get in other people's lives because it's easier to handle their problems, their situations, and make their situations so big that we turn away from our own situations, our own things, our own circumstances and stuff. But it's like, and that had nothing to do with you. If she was getting catfish, not fish, now you done made yourself mad that she with the fish.
So I'll give another scenario. Okay, Kathy, she doesn't really take care of herself in certain areas that is very visible. In terms of Kathy's hair is always a mess, and people are making fun of Kathy behind her back. And they saying, yeah, Kathy, dirty, dusty, crusty. But Kathy is unaware. Or, actually, is Kathy unaware? Yeah, Kathy is, I don't know if she's choosing to be unaware or she's just unaware. But I want to say something to her and say, hey, how do you approach that? Do you say something where you're like, Kathy, your hair is a little rough, but I can help you, or I'll give you a solution or something. Like, what do you, in this case, you never told Kathy this. Kathy doesn't recognize it. She just, yeah. Well, do you know who Kathy is?
Well, I think, huh?
Never mind.
Oh, Kathy, a real person?
Yes.
You talking about Kathy Hair?
Yeah.
And trying to tell Kathy about herself? Mind your
Oh.
business.
Yeah.
Mind your business. And the reason
My
I said mind your
question
business,
Yep.
go ahead, sister.
Dana.
Wow.
Go ahead, sis.
My question to you is, why are you friends with Kathy? Like, why are you around Kathy? I know, now that I know that this is a real person, the situation was different. But let's say Kathy is really friend, and it's not somebody that you are required kind of to be around. Why are you around that person? Period. You know what I mean? Like, you are a reflection of that person, and they are a reflection of you because y'all are friends. So the way that they carry themselves inside of your presence and also outside of your presence is a reflection on you and the morals and the characteristics that you want to be seen about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So is it harsh to not?
Yeah.
So would you consider that?
No, I wouldn't have a friend like Kathy. Yeah, I wouldn't have a friend like Kathy. I mean, I guess that's harsh, but I don't want anybody who doesn't not look like me but doesn't have the same values as me. And cleanliness is a value. You know what I mean? So how did y'all become friends would be my question. Like, what was the attraction?
We grew up. Let's say like we've been friends since middle school.
Well, we're growing up with each other,
and she been dirty since middle school.
And have you suggested ways of helping and they declined it?
You said what?
Have you suggested ways of helping and they declined it?
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody's stuck in their ways. It's not your job to convince them to think of another way. And so when it comes down to cleanliness and it comes down to the way they carry themselves, again, when you take it to precaution, that does not mean judge them. That does not mean be harsh to them. That does not mean, in this particular situation, you have those that are able to maneuver the relationship where it wouldn't have got to a point of a relationship. But let's say you're in this relationship, y'all did summer camp together, y'all parents are best friends, they made y'all hang out all the time. She's a good person. She just has this quality about her that you just dislike and that she's not willing to adapt to. It comes down to those things of, I would say there's a conversation that can be had that will allow the weight of you to come off, because I have to be honest of being in a situation where there's things that, friendship or not friendship, business or not business, that you can bring to a table that's like, hey, but it comes down to wisdom, it comes down to tone, it comes down to the sensibility of it and how you approach the situation. So, girl, you stink, you funky, I don't hang out with nobody who ain't with my flavor, with my type. You be walking around breath booty, I don't stink, you big, you got some other baby shorts on. It don't make no sense. Brush out your wig because it's looking crusty and dusty and I don't like it. Wrong. That was honest. That honest. It can be very honest. That was deep. But it's wrong. It's gonna make you already put up a fence up. But let's say I can speak a little bit more because I if I'm not mistaken, I know who Kathy is. Kathy grew up a completely different way than you grew up. Yeah. And with Kathy growing up a different way, there's subtle ways to give people certain things that they do. You know what I'm saying? There's things that us growing up in the same household that other people were hip on to, you know what I'm saying, that other people wasn't doing at one point. You know what I'm saying? From, you can show people certain things, that will show, like like we all grew up in the same house, but let's just use an example of not everybody. I remember being asked like, do you wash your back? You know what I'm saying? Not everything. You trying to be no, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just giving examples of there's graceful ways, and relationships will end up showing you something that you may have not known, but there's a way of going about it that does not make you a bad person. But that don't mean I'm never gonna hang out with you because you don't wash your back, you stinky, you funky, versus like no, a lot of people don't know it's bacteria back there, or how do I reach it? Oh, I just do it like this, or I got this African exfoliating thing that extends, and girl, now on your next birthday, a gift, or you seen it was a buy one get one free, besides keeping the next one when you throw it out, you handed it over. If there's a lot of things as a young woman that I'm still learning as a woman how to take care of myself. There weren't things that I was particularly taught, but these are also things that weren't taught itself. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some things that mom didn't know and had learned as she got older, that with having daughters, it was like a, dang, you got to put them hip to this. There's some things I learned from completely different women that was just like, okay, when you're on your monthly, this is what I do that helps, because this can prevent you from having accidents, because now we had to go home and and you know what I'm saying, like, hey, I had a friend, not a friend, but I was actually the little cousin with the big cousins, and there was a girl in their circle or church or whatever they want to call it, But my cousins, they used to be talking about this girl down bad, like, yo, Tina be stinking. And I'm like, and I'm still young. Like, I'm young. Like, I had to be maybe Juliet age. But I'm like, she be stinking? What they think she be stinking? But then I got around with her, and I'm like, I'm trying to like, But they ended up in a vindictive way. They use the person who's naturally vindictive. They said, "Hey, Phineas and Ferb, Candace, how about you tell her she stank?" You know what I'm saying? So what Candace give her? A basket with some soap, some what's it called? You know what I'm saying? Hey, you don't need no flavored stuff. You need what's the color I'm looking for? You need unscented soap. Don't be putting that strawberry berry fusion down there because it's messing up your pH. You know, there's certain things that like hey, drink water, or a lot of people don't know about their panties. A lot of people are not going to the doctor regularly. There's so many things that can go into place of just feminine hygiene in general. And how people carry themselves. Kathy, I've had conversations with Kathy too. Like, you don't want to brush that? What did you do? Because I seen it out the package. How did it come there? And it was just like a confident, like, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But I had to get to a point that said, Kathy has to understand if she gonna go anywhere with me and get up in my car and walk out with me, she has to she's gonna have to evolve to the situation or just not go. So who didn't go no more? Because you're not going with me looking like that, because I look crazy. Because why would I let my friend come out with me looking like this? Now I look like them bitter girls that's just angry and mad because why would you not brush your hair? And it's a wig, got that synthetic, natural, whatever. It's like no, this baby girl doesn't want to. She don't want that. So it's just sorry.
So when it comes to like complete strangers of being honest with them about certain things, with some other instances, do y'all think we should be honest with people about like just straight?
Don't go up to no stranger talking about your breath stink. Because people be realistic, like you don't want that though. You don't want that like, oh my, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I've noticed people just do little indications. Like you talk to somebody, their lips dry, you like you know, but it's like you don't ever know how the other person is gonna respond. Some people like, no, tell me if my breath's stinking. You know what I'm saying? Tell me. But I have been around close people. I have been around people that's just like a no, no, yeah, your breath is like this might be a gum issue.
Mom did this the other day. She said, here's a piece of gum. I said my breath stink. She said yes, a little. Said okay, but that's mom, so that's different. That's what I think in terms of relationship.
But it's a way to do it besides going like, hey, but you got gum. Just pass it out, pop one in your mouth. You're like, oh, thank you. But you asked the question that said, what, did my breath stink? And she chose to be honest at the moment. That's like, yeah, it's like you know, I do that when I'm with people and we just ate and I'm like, oh, you want a piece of gum? It's like, oh, thank you. I'm like, yeah, I know we both just ate a salmon sandwich. It don't make sense for me to act like your breath ain't finna stink like this salmon. I just watched you tear it down. You know what I'm saying? With broccoli and cheese too. Oh no, you're not finna be talking to me in this close compacted vehicle. You know?
No, the smell be spreading. Yo, we was on a plane back from New York. The man that was sitting next to us, his breath. And
did you tell him?
No, but he was asleep. I wasn't gonna say that anyway, but it was like I couldn't even sleep on the plane. I'm like, oh.
And then you got people like mom who can't help it in her face, like
she's so
mom will literally go, she'll start spraying stuff like, cause something stank. Like she's like, mom, be so for real.
That is a hilarious one right there. But has there ever been a time, Dana, where somebody was too honest with you, or you felt like they were too honest?
I feel like too honest. Not necessarily with what they said, I don't think, but I think it has to do with placement, like in position in somebody's life. Like, is it your place to say that? You know what I mean? Like, should you have said that, even if you're right? No, probably not, you know? And then I think you can be too frank with somebody. Like, you can be too coarse and too rough with somebody, because the vast majority of people aren't used to harsh reality, you know what I mean? Or used to harsh truth or the brute force and honesty that comes with just saying what's on your mind. I also feel like it's unwise to just be that type of person, but it absolutely has happened to me. But yeah, it's happened, you know, of course it's happened where you're like, okay, well, and it makes you deal with those people differently, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, it happens frequently enough.
Somebody asked me a question and they said, do you feel as if the reason that you it was more of like the reason why you like can't keep friends and things like that, like the reason why you can't keep friends and like why relationships don't work out, like do you realize that it may have a lot to do with your like childhood trauma? And I remember sitting there like, and I wanted to go, do you feel as if though XYZ to die based off of your childhood trauma, you know what I'm saying? But it comes off with you address the people a lot different once they kind of like have that moment. And I think a big part that plays in honesty comes down to the intention and the motive of someone. There are moments where, and I'll use this as a reference with me and Dana, we having a conversation. I'm very emotional. I'm like, nothing's working out with me. I just downloaded something, and then the moment I downloaded, my phone screen cracked, and then right when I'm done cracking, I'm like, okay, not a big deal. And you know, my lovely sister, being who she is, her love for me,
Woman of God.
it came out like, thank you, and it was just like be so for real. Get it together. You can take this last little 24 hours, but tomorrow don't hit me with this foolishness. You just told me in the same sentence that if you go to work, if you put your mind to it, that you're able to change your lifestyle, not in 1 week, not in 2 weeks. It can be 30 days. It can be in 1 day. You know these things. Yeah, you're telling me and complaining on the phone because, you complain about things that you have the ability to change. And I'm sitting there on the phone like, pick it up phone. Because I did not want to hear this. But I had to be honest with myself. That's like, no, what I wanted was somebody to validate my emotions and tell me it sucks, have a pity party, keep feeling bad for yourself. Dang, that's unfortunate for you. And she said, she's like, yes, everything that's happening does suck. I'm very sorry that that's happening to you, but sorry, get up. Like, and you know, and it was like don't call me with this again, but you can always call me. Like, I'm here for you, but don't call me with this again when you're saying, like, no man loves me, but you keep going on a date with these men that you don't even like, that don't serve you no purpose, that don't this, that don't that. But because of our relationship and because I know that she wasn't saying that to be like, you're so emotional, you're a hypochondriac, you're making everything about you, you're so selfish, you're so self-centered. I knew that it was out of a place of love that was like I see your potential. And the wisdom the wisdom on how she navigated the conversation allowed me to go through my emotions. I was just like, but it was like afterwards, that was just like I don't know if you need me to tell you or show you, but I love your music. I love how you da-da-da. You're funny to me. You're this, that, and the other. You may not see it, but I see it. Da-da-da-da-da. And so and it was just like it wasn't just let me beat you down with this truth and then not give you a suggestion and then not give you no support on how to change it. Let me not tell you that your breath stank, that you went up there and you spoke out of turn and you spoke out of season, and then not give you a suggestion and a support that you need to go through it. Because somebody telling you something and not giving you a solution to it, it's just like, your house is dirty, it's trifling, I don't even want my kids over here, versus like hey sis, like how about we break the house up into like sections, like, you know what I'm saying, this might be hoarding, I know you just lost this person, I know this is a lot going on, but how about we break it up, you know what I'm saying, into little parts. I'm not physically with you, maybe I can FaceTime with you while you do your writing because you just need somebody to be there with you to hold accountability.
Let's clean our house together.
You know what I'm saying? Like, let's do something like that. Or, oh, did you watch this new show? If you watch the show and fold, it may help, because that's what I do. Everything is so, you got to be so sensitive on how you do stuff, because you have to understand that people are still people and they have emotions. I have emotions. You can still hurt my feelings no matter how wise, how smart, how much you may look up to me, how much you may think I'm just so intelligent and Minister Ari, or Ari my sister, or Ari my friend, or Ari my cousin, or Ari my mom. Like, she still has emotion. She still feels some type of way. And if I'm beating myself up with certain things and you come back with your breath stink, it ain't that, and I'm like, it's because I had my molar teeth, couldn't pull them out because I couldn't get insurance, but it's like, oh, okay, I hear the problem. So do you need somebody to stay on the phone with you while you make your doctor's appointments? Wait, do you have insurance? I do, but well, okay, honestly, it takes like 5 minutes. Like, it seems like a lot, but there's a solution to it. Here's my strength and how I can assist.
But can I jump in right there? I feel like when you know how we were speaking about Kathy earlier, I feel like when you know that certain person is not going to change anything, Like, you've made the suggestion, you've given a solution, you brought it up and you gave a solution. Like, if you didn't listen the first time, why am I about to go back and keep, what's it called? Now, the point I'm trying to make is, if you see somebody is not making an effort to make change, or is not in a position, or not really in the capacity to receive what you're dropping down, the solutions that you're giving, then I feel like that's when it's time to, like, okay, they may not be ready for this, they didn't receive it, and they may not be in the capacity or the time or the whatever for this. So I'm not gonna keep wasting my breath, time, or resources. I'm gonna move on elsewhere. But once again, I do too also think partial relationship, because with us, there are certain things I'm, y'all with me too, I wouldn't like keep pushing about, because like, all right, she ain't what's called. But also, I think as sisters, since we have a close relationship, it is certain things that we would still kind of push, because we like, just a little, just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you could still be helped. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make a lot of
You
sense.
making that face, Don? You making that face?
Well,
Like,
I think
yeah.
in the first place, before you try to give anybody anything, I think you first need to do an assessment to see if they want that, right? If Eric calls me, sometimes I'll say, do you want advice, or do you just want to vent? Like, because I can be either right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's what you want based on the relationship, and that's an option I will give her because she's my sister and because I love her to pieces. Whereas with somebody else, I can note it, see it, have an opinion about it, and I won't even give them the option to have the advice, because that's wisdom also. Knowing when not to speak is more wise than knowing when to speak.
That's good.
I feel like it has
That's
more of an
good.
effect, right? Because your silence is saying something, but it's sometimes your silence speaks more than the volume of words that you might have for something. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is with a lot of things. But I know it, because Kathy is a real person and we all are on the same page about who this Kathy. I would never have that conversation with her, because why, right? I wouldn't even. There would be no situation where we would be going somewhere where you would have to, where I would feel the need to say something to you, because we're not going anywhere together. You know what I mean? Whereas with Ariel, it was a little bit different because of the position that she had. But I try not to put myself in positions where I would feel the need to say something. You know what I mean? Like, you don't always. That's how you know if it's wisdom or not. Like, that's how you know. Honestly, that's how you know if God truly spoke to you, because sometimes it's just a prayer point. Sometimes it's not something that you need to say to somebody.
That's
sometimes you need to take that
good.
home with you, and you need to go and meditate for that person. Sometimes you need to fast for that person. Sometimes you need to just go pray very deeply for hours for that person, because that's what they need. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know.
think people.
At least
go
in
ahead.
some.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
In some settings, that's okay. In some settings, it's difficult to put that aside, though. Like, I know with some things that I'm involved in, we do some of the dumbest things. Like, you know what I mean? I say we because I consider myself a part of this thing, but like, I'd be like, that made no sense, or why are we doing this, or there's so much secrecy involved in this, why, when, you know what I mean? Like, but you don't know what they know, and even if you do know everything that they know, you could know more than they know, but that's their position to do so, and it's within their prerogative to do so. But it's a frustrating thing, and so that's why I say some things are just a prayer point. Some things you just take with you, and you go on their behalf, and you just pray for results, you know?
I think some people a lot of times use honesty as a way to inflict pain. They say, oh, can I be honest? Like, I'm just being honest. Like, it's just me being honest, but it's a way to inflict pain. And a lot of people don't do the self-assessment and let me check myself and why I'm saying this. Like, I want to be honest. Like, I just feel like sometimes you be dressing, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you be putting these things on, but then you got to like circle back. And I've had to have this conversation with a few friends that was just like there's a difference of I'm trying to get dressed and show off my curves versus I can have a pencil costume on, and my body is shaped the way that my body is. But sometimes people use honesty as a way to inflict pain and to expose true feelings that they may have had. But they say, oh, out of honesty, you know what I'm saying? I just want to be honest with you, because if we can't be honest with each other, but I had to learn, and I actually recently got into I would have to say like a debate with a friend of mine, because they wanted honesty, but they didn't want honesty. they open up the door for honesty of just like, we'll always be honest with each other, keep it real. I don't want no yes man around me. But when that yes man, you so used to him and people start telling you no, then you the enemy. You got you a spirit. I don't know what you got going on. And it was just like, okay. It was just like a why this, why that? And it was like, I'm confused. What did I say that was so wrong? Because I thought you wanted honesty, but I've opened up the door when it comes down to honesty. Everybody can tell Ari, yeah, you're operating in the disobedient. You're being very rebellious. You're being very, that's that lust spirit, and pray for that Jezebel spirit. And everybody can be open, but then when you say, hey, do you notice that you know what I'm saying, you manipulate? Did you notice that was a lie? Did you notice that? Nobody wants to hear it. It's this guard that goes up, and then it's this projection that's like, no, here you go, pushing people away. You're self-sabotaging relationships because you don't really want them, and because you were hurt. Then we circle back to, you're only using information I gave you and gave you privilege to. And then you get to a point, me currently, that's like a, you know what? Be gone with all of you. You know what I'm saying? Be gone with all of you, because honesty is a one-way street on this round. On you know what I'm saying? On this road, it's one way. It's, let's be honest with Ari. Tell her where she's wrong, what she did, how she offended us, how she made us feel. But nobody takes into precaution like, dang, we didn't go to her baby shower. We didn't say happy birthday to her. Honestly, it didn't even cross my mind. But it's like, how dare she miss my son get together? How dare she? You be like, it just be people don't understand that they might use this honesty as a gateway to establish some authority and to inflict that pain on someone. That's like, I'm an honest friend. I would want somebody to do the same for me, but you don't want that, because you've learned how to argue, you've learned how to debate, and you've learned how to take people's weaknesses that Ari can't articulate her thoughts back to you without cutting you, so she don't say nothing. Not that she don't know what to say back to you, but I haven't learned that balance on how to have a conversation with you and not tear you down. You know what I'm saying? And it's taking some progress and some time. So now I just do the thing, but I just won't talk to you. And that's not better, but it's what I'm doing, because I'm like, if not, I'm gonna hurt your feelings. I'm gonna ruin this whole little pyramid, this whole little Roman Empire you done built, that you just the greatest friend ever. And honestly, you got some holes in it, tremendously.
There's water leaking in.
Yeah, leaking real bad. But I want to call it under bad.
I'm cracking up.
I think people have a conception in their head, like you said, that honesty equates to love, and it does not. The devil was honest with Adam and Eve in the garden. You know what I mean? Like, there was some honesty to what he said, even though his intention point was to destroy them, but there was some honesty, because if they ate the fruit, they were like, that was the whole point. It just wasn't the time for them to do so. But in the honesty of, well, why wouldn't he? It became a whole thing, and now we out here living the life, that we're all living because of that one moment of quote unquote honesty. And I think just because you have this innate desire or this extreme passion or this extreme leading to tell the truth or to be truthful, I think it speaks to your immaturity, because not everything needs to be said. And for you to feel like you just need to say what's on your mind is immature. And sometimes the best way to reach somebody is to become their friend, because a wise man wins a friend. He who is wise wins a friend. And so sometimes it's not about you telling the person, but becoming available to them to show them by becoming their friend, to lead by example, like Ari was saying earlier. Like, you become the envisionment of that thing. So now they just start to do those things. And maybe it never has to be a conversation of, well, did you know if you move the blind to the left, it'll have this effect? It'll just be, well, I saw the effect that it had by watching you do it. Because a lot of people are visual learners. Some people are audible learners. You need to tell them. Some people are hands-on learners where you need to show them. So that's part of the assessment that you need to take also, not only of yourself in the way that your approach can be, your tact can be, your delivery can be, but also in the way that this person needs to receive it. Because person not receiving it in the way that you give it doesn't make them wrong, and it doesn't make you wrong. It means that there has to be some adjustment in the communication style to this direct person.
That's good.
It'd be kind of hard to, like, when you're so used to a way that you communicate of how you say things, it'd be kind of hard sometimes to readjust and kind of be selfless and gauge what somebody needs, because it really do be easier. I do think it's a little selfish to treat everybody the same way because of how you feel. If that makes sense. Like I'm gonna tell Ari, Dana, Mom, Kate, and Kayla, all of them that your breast stank in the same. I don't know if that example is a good example, but all I'm saying is I think is you got it. Okay, I think it's just it's a tad bit selfishness up in there when you try to do everything your way, instead of denying yourself sometimes to.
I think that goes into friendships too. Of people may have a set group of friends and meet a new person and say, well, this worked for them. Like this worked for my sisters. Like we just be honest and tell each other like our feelings are hurt. We be honest and say, hey, that guy you're dating is trash. We don't like him. This is something that's worked for us. And then you meet other people and you think that that's the way. And it's not. This friend doesn't need you to preach down to her. This friend doesn't need you to be so brutally honest. This friend needs some love. This friend needs some support. But you do some things in such a way that you think that, oh, it should just be the way. And especially if we're dealing with like religious people, it's like no, like when I was in this relationship, God had told me and he also gave you different instructions on how to handle me, but you chose to go what was safe or what was comfortable or didn't affect you, because there's no way you can tell me, I'm not moving off emotion. I just was led not to reach out to you. But it's like, no, you're offended. You've already shown me and told me that I made you feel the type of way. And so you pull back because other times you gave me information, or other times you may have gave me instruction or something. I didn't receive it in the way that other people did. You tell that's like, coming in contact with, let's say, Papa, and he came to me, he told me something. Everybody else might be like, what? He said, what to you, girl? You better. And I might be sitting there straight face. I might be receiving it. But who was that to say, because I didn't give the reaction that he wanted, that he just ain't gonna say nothing to me. Oh no, she don't give me no show. Like she's just gonna look me dead in the eye. Like, you know what I'm saying? She ain't gonna say, hey man, she not gonna nothing. Oh, that must be a spirit. She must be demonic. It's a witch in the house. You know what I'm saying? All these things can go, but it's just one of those things that's like these things be happening. These relationships, honesty, these characteristics, these flaws, these situations, they're real. They be happening in present day, and people have to heal from having so many honest friends that told you, girl, your hair is this, girl, I don't know if a boy gonna like that, or you know what I'm saying. I have friends that's just like it's gonna be hard dating, you have a son, it's a little different. I've never been with anybody, you know what I'm saying, or I've been with the same person forever, and you've dated, you've been around, so what you trying to call me, what's different, or like I never did. It's just like but I'm just being honest, like I'm just saying, but like it makes, but it's like, no, you wanted to say this because, again, intent and your motives. Some people don't like you. Some people just don't like you. Some people don't want to help you. Some people don't want you to take their honesty in a good way. Some people want their honesty to hurt you, to derail you, to delay you, and to make you feel belittled. Some people want their honesty to make you feel so guilty that you don't get dressed when you come around no more, because you used to dress too loud. You used to dress too provocative. You used to dress too eccentric. We don't want you to do that because it's taken away from us, because I don't know my fashion. I don't know my style. Or now there's not only one loud girl who dresses, there's two. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like when you start looking at stuff, you start assessing things a lot different. And a lot of this stuff comes down to women and men. We have to heal. We have to do the work that requires healing, and we have to be honest and stop expecting honesty from other people when we keep lying to ourselves.
Can I ask a question? It just came to my mind as you were talking. I want to ask, like, sometimes when I say certain stuff, I realize that sometimes I don't know, you play it off, so I don't know if you're serious or not, but when I say certain stuff like I'm only 21, I do not need to be hanging out with these kids. Like, and then sometimes you say, you trying to call me old? Like, do you feel the type of way when I do that stuff? Like, do you really be joking, or do you be feeling away? Because my intentions, I just be saying stuff, and y'all know, and I always try to express it the best way I can. I love y'all very, very much, and everything I do or say, and to the best of my ability, I try not to be. I try with my intentions to be as considerate as possible, but I just think of some of the moments as you was talking. I was thinking some moments where I was like, "Huh, was I being like? What's the word? I don't think it's passive aggressive. What is it? Was I being like how you was describing? That makes sense.
If I'm being honest with you,
subliminals.
When I had to be honest with myself and do some self-reflection, because I'm like, but something I've noticed is that if I want to be reminded that I'm still young and I'm not like no old person, like, old person, I'm not getting that from you, and not in a mean way, but like I'll have moments where I'll just be like I'll be like looking at a picture of me. I'm like, oh my gosh, I look so young. Like, I look good. You like, yeah, you look 27. Yeah, you look your age. Like, no, and I'd be like, don't I look like a little baby or something right here?
In my head, I'm
look
like,
the exact
you're
same to me. You look the exact same. You look fine to me. You look.
No, if you was 6,
you look like a mom. Like, and she'd be like, yeah, you look like a mom. You look like Daniel's mom. You look like you have a kid. You look like an adult. Like, it'd be like,
it's like hearing
but
kind of hard.
So I had to take an assessment and go, okay, when I'm saying these things, I guess I'm not really looking to be older. Like, you know how you be saying stuff like oh yeah, like people just say I look like a kid. I'm like, LOL. But I'm noticing I don't want them to say, oh, you do look 30. You must be 30. Like, I don't really want that. I like that people don't be like, oh my gosh, Ari, you look young. So I had to gauge the conversation and be honest with myself that you're looking for validation, or you're looking for somebody to be like, what, Ari? No, you look the exact same from when you was 12. Versus somebody saying like, no, you look 12 right there. And this picture, you look visibly 27. You like,
I don't feel like that, do I?
You make it very clear that you be like, no, you look 27. I mean, the difference maybe your braces, or sometimes like when you smile, like it kind of look, but you look like 27, look like a mom.
Do I do that? Do I do that a lot? Like in our conversation, like do I in terms of like just being?
Yeah, not necessarily to me, but you do it a lot. Like, it is a frequent thing that you do in conversations with a lot of people. But that's kind of the thing. Like, the family that we come from is very opinionated, going back 1,000 generations, honey. Everybody got something to say, and it's just gonna say it because that's the way that we love, right? And that it's just very harsh, very brutal truths that make us not want to be around these people. You know what I mean? Like, that is the kind of the faux pas. Like, I believe we had a ranking, like a list of like, oh, well, this person's worse, and
yeah.
Like, I don't know if y'all remember that. Like, no, out of this list, this, but there's still that way. Like, there's people that we will not talk to or ask certain things because we're like, this person is just not the right person to ask for that, So I think that's part of it. So I think it has a lot to do with the reception of the person, but also in the delivery, for sure, of you. And then also because it intention is part of it, but it's not the hugest part, because I don't think your intention is ever to demean or to hurt anybody.
That's the part.
I think you just the meaningless, or the
I'm not thinking,
the lack of like, like the I was looking for a better word, but like that it's it has a greater effect. You know what I mean? It has a greater turmoil on you as the person who's doing that than the person who is receiving it. Because for the person who's receiving it, it might be something that a confirmed, quote unquote, insecurity that they had, and they just move on and they will never talk to you again. But for you, you're like, well, why can't I keep friends? Not you specifically, but for somebody who is like that, well, why can't I keep friends? Why does nobody ever want to ask me anything? And and now you're dealing with this thing of like, well, I should just isolate myself. So it's a being too honest is not only harmful to the person you're being honest to, it is also detrimental to you if you're being too honest, that people no longer want to engage with you in any type of way.
Well, how can I do better?
Stop doing it.
Like, how?
Start thinking
I think
more.
the first step is what you just did.
If you know that it's a thoughtless thing, but if you know that you're not consciously like thinking before, you need to filter that before it gets. You need to build a filter before it ever comes out of your mouth, because right now it's just like from brain to mouth. You need to build a gate, trolls essentially. That goes, not that, you know, that's for the archive. Like, let's not say that,
Yeah.
you know.
A good
And then
person to
also
practice
not
it
to
on would be
be-
mom. Because I have a tendency with mom to go, that don't even make no sense. When you just spent $500 on that, then you gonna be sitting here complaining about, and then she go, okay, I'm gonna go downstairs. It was good talking to y'all, you know. But it's a good way of like practicing that, of just like, now that you're aware of it, and she's saying there's a filter, put the filter in place, and that don't mean like when somebody talk, you go, I don't know what to say because I don't know if this is wrong. Blah. Is it okay if I say this? You know what I'm saying? No, it's just one of those things. It's just like okay, take a note. Like hey, when normally, even as myself, as I get older, I'm realizing like people being like, oh, she's just a baby, and now people ain't calling me Angel the baby no more. They like, no, she in the 20s now. Like she's getting up there, a grown woman, you know. But it's like some people look at that like, yeah, I'm getting older. And some people that's like 27, I'm looking at my life like, nothing's wrong with getting older, but I'm like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got a 9-year-old, time's getting up there, decisions gotta be made. Life, I'm not 21, you know, like it take 1 year where everybody say you look young, where if this black decided to clack, I'm gonna look, you know. So it's just one of those things of just like putting into practice already now that you're aware of it, and something clicked to you that was just like is this something I do? Those are things that be conversation, that be relationship, that be what we be trying to say. Like when people are like learning, and when you're talking, that's like when the pastor is giving a word and they don't say, Angel, I know you when you going through some hard times, and they like, somebody in here is going through a hard time, and it convicts you. It make you feel, you like, he's talking to me. Dang, I am one of those people that always is nagging and nagging and nagging and never seeing the positive, you know? So what can I do now that I notice that? I can start implementing little things that will help in a situation like that.
So one more thing. So like when I say, when y'all be saying certain words, I be like, don't say that about yourself. Like, do you want me to back off with, like, should I back off with that one? Because you know. Yeah, you say I'm weak, and they be like, no, say you strong. Oh dang, I'm like that TikTok. Oh shoot, the TikTok. Oh shoot, I'm like that. Oh crap.
Let's take this as a moment of where honesty for your own self can do its own revealing, its own healing, its own thought, its own development, that nobody needs to hear and give you an example and say, yeah, because when you sat there on your own in a natural conversation that you felt safe and comfortable with to do some assessment and talk and go, boom, connected you to something to make you really understand it. And it was no example that Dana gave or I gave. It's a dang on TikTok. Come on now.
Speak life.
Okay. Like you know, like oh yeah, the tail light is out. The Lord is with me. We covered by all police officers. They never gonna see us. You know what I'm saying? We all good. You're like, no, it's not that I don't think the Lord with us, but the tail light is out. We should be a lot more careful if we just pulling up in front of cops. Like, I just think it's something to be like, that don't mean God don't love us and we might not find favor, or the police might not even look, but it's just one of those things. It's like no, I'm not saying that he's not with us. I'm just saying, like, our tail light is out, people get tickets for that. Like, we shouldn't purposely pull in front of the police officer with no seatbelts and be like, oh, I'm covered by the blood of Jesus. You know my back issues, but the law does say wear a seatbelt. Like,
yo, this is very revealing today. Amen.
I'm talking about.
Amen.
I think an important thing to have as a person who is honest, or wants to be honest, or just somebody who's opinionated or even observational, like there's so many levels to honesty in and of itself. But I think with certain things, you have to have a person who is your designated honesty buddy, if you will, like somebody that you can call for anything and you can say anything, even if it had nothing to do with them. And I think that makes them the perfect person for that role, that it had nothing to do with them, because you eliminate offense and me speaking my mind. You know what I mean? Like, there's something I'm a part of. I have a friend, and when I see something dumb or something that I think is dumb, and that's an important distinction, it's not dumb to them, it's dumb to me. Okay. But when I see something that I don't like, or I don't appreciate, or doesn't make sense to me, I have a friend that I go to and I go, hey, this is what I think. What do you think? You know, they might have an opinion, they might not, they might go, wow, that's crazy. But I got it out because everybody needs to vent. You know what I mean? And God can be that, but he is not, his point is not to be our therapist or our venter. You know what I mean? Like, therapist is not the right word, but we're not supposed to go to him and vent. Like, he's solution oriented, right? He is the solution. He's Jesus, you know? So when you say his name, things are supposed to change and things are supposed to shift and fall into place. So when you come to him and you're like, well, I just wanted to say that, he'll be like, okay, but what if we do this? You know? Or what if you don't do that? What if you stop? What if you know? Because sometimes it's not about you. Sometimes it's I think that was it right there. So it's not about you. You know what I mean? A lot of these things don't be having nothing to do with you, like, at all, in any regard. And then sometimes it might be calling. It might be your purpose, right? In another episode, we were talking about purpose and passion, and how your purpose, is the thing that will show up in everything that you do, right? That's what you're called to do. It'll show up even without you consciously doing it, right? So if you're somebody whose purpose is to establish order, and you come and you're saying all this stuff, but it's not your place yet to establish order in that thing, but you just have the ideas because that's how your brain naturally works, you're still wrong. So you just need to have a buddy or a person or a journal, if you don't have a person, to have those things down, or to write down the ideas that you're having, because there will be a time when maybe you'll get to sit before the person whose job it actually is to make that decision, and they'll go, I was wondering, you know, or I wanted to know what you had to say about this. But sometimes the wisdom is in waiting. It is in knowing to bide your time, and until then you just need that friend, you know. And also, you're not the authority on things. You thinking that it's right, or you thinking that it's the best way to do things, doesn't mean that that's true. Right? And then being opinionated, people can confuse you having an opinion about something as you being authoritative, because they weren't the person who was meant to hear it. One thing that has happened to me in the past is that I'll tell somebody an idea, they'll take the idea and give it to somebody else because in their mind they're a better fit for it. If they were a better fit, God would have given them the idea, don't you think?
Yeah.
Right? That's just me in my head. That's good. For me, it went, you're not the person to tell about these things anymore, because now I have to find wisdom with who. So I needed to, you know, trial and error and whatever. But this is a real thing. Like, why would you tell them, or why would you hear me detail everything and then go, well, we can call this person, call them in front of me, and then neglect to mention that it came from me?
That's wow.
I'm gonna make sure you're a part of it. You didn't come up with the idea to be giving out roles, my guy. You know, like, it wasn't your idea. But for me, what I learned was you need the right people, and then also you need to shut up, because it's not one. It wasn't for you, and it wasn't for them to hear.
That's
you know
good.
What I mean? Like, this happens so often, and people, I think the nature of people is to forget. You know what I mean? Oh my God, this sorry, that was so dramatic, but this the 48 Laws of Power. There's that was such a fake laugh. You were so ridiculous.
I was about to say, like, are you okay?
That was such a fake laugh. But in the 48 Laws of Power, there's a thing that talks about how gratitude is a burden, and how people will forget. And if you remind them of the thing that you've done for them, that they'll be more likely to go the other way than the way that you want them to, because gratitude is a burden, right? To feel like you owe somebody is a burden. And so that's kind of the thing. But it goes to speak to the nature of people that is forgetful. We forget the things that God has done for us. We forget the things that people have done for us, because it's the nature of humanity. We'll forget, right? That's why they have all these memorial days and all these special holidays, because on what just passed, Juneteenth, or, you know, or the 4th of July, or all these other things that are coming or going that have already passed, Christmas. And Jesus died for us. Do we need a memorial to remember that? Yes, because the nature of people is forgetful. Yeah. You're ridiculous. You're
Amen,
so
amen.
ridiculous.
And no. I'm just, you was talking good. Like, do we? Like, do we? That's everything that you said. I love how you have a way of bringing a new light and perspective. It's like when everyone's talking, even with you, when you pop out with a question, it's like okay, and we're able to talk and reflect. Those are the things that I love so much about our conversations, because they help us learn from it. They help us take a new perspective from it, but also we walk away with some new insights, some new tips, some new perspectives on how to look at those things. And if I may or may not, I just want to add a little something in there real quick, because ladies and gentlemen, on that time, on that note, because I'm talking about, we got some words. That was smooth, 97.8. Okay, we got a Mocha Letter. 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 Let's find out what's going on. Okay. Dear trio. Okay. I hope you're all doing well. I'm writing to seek your advice on a delicate issue I've been facing recently. It revolves around the question of being honest and being too honest. I've always valued honesty and believe in being straightforward with people. However, I've noticed that my candidness sometimes leads to tension and hurt feelings. Recently, a close friend asked for my opinion on a project that they were working on. I gave them my honest feedback, but it wasn't well received. They felt like I was being too harsh on a relationship, and our relationship then has been strained ever since. This isn't the first time like something like this has happened, but I want to maintain my integrity and be truthful. But I also don't want to damage my relationships. How do I strike a balance between being honest and being considerate of others and their feelings? Is there such a thing as being too honest? And if so, how can I navigate this fine line? I would really appreciate any insight or advice that you can offer on this matter. Thank you for your help in advance. And I love you guys' this podcast so much. Sincerely, too honest. So, your girlfriend asked you, or your friend or whatever, she wanted to know your opinion about a project, and you gave your honest opinion, but it wasn't well received. You can't even be upset with yourself and feel like, okay, was I not being honest? So did she show you a volcano that was lopsided and screaming out green snot like it was Shrek, and you guys said, oh, this look good, versus telling her the truth, like, no, this doesn't look right? If somebody's actively asked for your advice, maybe the way that you may have said it could have been reviewed, but you were being honest in the situation and at that time. So I just feel like it's one of those things where when it comes down to balancing that fine line, as we were discussing with Angel, of just like knowing and practicing, like being self-aware, hey, could that have been delivered different? And if this is a friendship that you even want to proceed to go with, and it feels like it's strained and everything like that, I feel like, and you say that this isn't the first time that something happened, it may be your delivery, it may be the way that you are giving things off. If they keep having this thing, like every time you say something, people are just frustrated. We've talked about our intention, our motive, you know what I'm saying? This is a project that you may have wanted to be a part of. It's so many other aspects that go into it. So my advice and my insight to you is there is a such thing as being too honest. There's more of a, honesty isn't a bad thing, but it plays a crucial part on how we deliver it and the sensitivity on when we give it, so that would just be my insight and my knowledge for you. But I want to know your thoughts. I want you to elaborate a little bit more. Message us again, send us a comment. So Angel,
welcome to Tips from an Angel. So my tip for today is to be self-aware. Okay, if you are going to check somebody or tell somebody the truth, check yourself if you receiving or acting that truth first. Amen. This is a quick and safety one, but it's impactful. So Don, take it away.
I think the definition of insanity, according to Albert Einstein, is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. If you are continuously given advice, whether it is solicited or unsolicited, meaning somebody asked you or they didn't ask you, you're the dodo bird for continuing to do so, right? Because the first time that you were asked the same thing or in the same manner of request to say, well, give me your advice on this thing, and they didn't receive it well, then why would you then continue doing the same thing over and over again, right? It makes no sense. Okay. Also, the burden, it's like in the court of law, the burden of proof is on the person who is presenting the case, right? My job is to defend it, but the prosecutor's job is to present the case in a manner that all the facts are presented. I cannot help you win your case, nor is it my position to do so. So you cannot help somebody come to a different conclusion when they've already made their mind up about something. The prosecutor has already decided that you're guilty. Your job is to prove the opposite, not to help them build their case or to change their mind. You're not even trying to change the prosecutor's mind. You're attempting to change the mind of the jury or of the judge, depending on the type of case that it is. Make better decisions, people of God. Be careful with where you give your advice. Be careful where you give your opinion, because though it has value, it is not always valued. With that being said, make sure you come and see us on Mondays for our Monday live streams. Make sure you tune in every Friday for our new episodes of the Be So For Real podcast, where new topics are discussed every time. If you have an idea for a topic, please feel free to drop it in the comments. DM us, send us your Mocha Letter, send us some ideas for tips for an angel. Speak easy is a little bit different, but maybe you got some quotes for me, maybe you want to share some wisdom with the people. So send it to us, we'll share it. And that's if you tune in, that's if you share, that's if you like the video though. It comes with stipulations. So see you Monday, see you Friday.
Come on.
And as always, be loving, be kind, be generous, but always, always, always be so for real.
For real.
Until next time.
Love you guys.